if we're good to go. Awesome. Look good to go. Doing some quick tests. Welcome back, guys. Good to see you guys again. Hope you guys had a great holiday weekend. Good Thanksgiving with the family and friends. Just doing some quick notes and making sure we're good to go before we get started. Didn't have a specific agenda today, actually, guys. Just I read some great things over the weekend and some great things today, and we're kind of just be going through some Twitter stuff here just in a minute. Some great information, of course, like usual, but just didn't really have a set agenda today. Honestly, kind of just an inspiration type day. Awesome. Okay, looks like we are good to go. Alrighty, guys, welcome back to MTVTA. I'm your guys' host, Trent Manager. All my returning guys, welcome. All my new guys, welcome. And girls, really glad to have you guys here. You guys could be doing anything else, but you guys are here. So I know, I've been gone for a little bit. Let me just kind of give some kind of clarity real quick. Dude, work's just been absolutely nuts. Just been, just really overwhelmed with technical stuff, and I hate not having the time to make these, but I definitely just bring them when I can. Kind of just fell off schedule with the move. If you guys remember, just had some internet problems, just really didn't have internet for like 6 weeks, and then literally coming back on schedule, and we had like crazy work projects that took up, tons of time during that week. But glad to be back. I was posting, Twitter, Instagram. I try to stay up with at least the readings and outside of the live streams. But other than that, guys, I'm really glad to be back, and thank you guys for sticking with me and continuing to read the articles and read everything that I have put out, and just continuing to ask questions and just be attentive. It's always a great skill to have. So thank you guys so much. But other than that, guys, just kind of want to give that clarity, just so you guys haven't been wondering. But today, guys, we got a couple different things to talk about. So we're kind of being a little bit boring today. Could be going into some economic stuff and, kind of trying to figure out, what our government is thinking, at least here in the U.S. I know not everyone here is in the U.S. that watches me, but this is going to be catered a little bit more towards my U.S. users today. But we are going to start with something very, very interesting that I thought was crazy. We're actually going to start with the beer.eth. So we've talked about the ENS names. We've talked about the integration with these big businesses that are coming to the Ethereum network, utilizing their payment systems. Utilizing the Ethereum name service. As you can see here, we now have Budweiser, beer.eth. It has happened. They have now switched over. We don't know exactly what they're doing just yet in terms of their guidelines for their preparation for blockchain, but this was just a pipe dream. You seeing this, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So something very interesting to see. We talked about them weeks ago. If you guys remember, we talked about Budweiser and their integration, about what they want to do, supply chain management. Possibly, I could see them, utilizing some solutions for, their beer management in terms of supply chain and other store locations for accountability, and possibly eliminating some shortage, some supply chain shortage injection and stuff like that. So that's honestly my best guess, but from what we see here, this is absolutely phenomenal. So I didn't want to take up too much of your time because there's not too much to cover here on this one, but this is just something to pay attention to. This is not a small company at all. This is someone who's very, very large in the American space and the adult beverage consumer area as well. Wanted to step over here today. If you guys are not aware, we today are having, at least in DC they are, Treasury Yellen, one of our secretaries, and a lot of our finance guys and big banking guys and SEC people are, having talks about the editing of our infrastructure implementation bill. So we are seeing talks about, Treasury Yellen, talking about our stable coins can result in some greater efficiencies, could contribute to an easier payments if only if adequately regulated. So, what do you see here? So you see, okay, so first let's take a step back and actually put our eyes in the bank. So we put our eyes in the banking views and say, hey, so we now have a currency that is exactly like ours, is not inflated, not printed out of thin air, and also has the ability to send and receive whenever you want without limitations. So as a big bank, what do you think right now? You think, oh my gosh, this is very scary, because who's going to utilize us when everyone has these possibilities that they can do elsewhere? So with that being said, we're going to hop over to a Reddit post as well. That's kind of going to give us a deeper dive. I wanted to have this first just for the introduction, just to give us a clear path for walking through what we're going to be walking through. This is important. We're real over here. We've talked about this plenty of times. If we knew that we wanted to get to that next level, we knew that regulation had to step into play here. And like we talk about all the time, regulation is not bad. It's not, oh my gosh, they're all, big brother's all up in, over your shoulder and in your pockets and, in your phone, even though that kind of is the case sometimes with some platforms. I won't name any specifically, but, let's also remember that this is what we asked for. We never said said the road to where we wanted to be would be easy. We never said getting to 100K Bitcoin was going to be easy. We never said any of this was going to be easy. But, in terms of if you've been here a while and you understand being 100% real, you understand that this is something that is inevitable. We knew that the regulation was coming, and we're going to cover that more in just a second. Quickly, wanted to actually let me not get ahead of myself. Let me actually pull up. Let's stay in order just so we don't confuse each other. So let's go into our cryptocurrency Reddit post. So the most important piece of regulatory clarity on cryptocurrencies in the world thus far has arrived. I read through 4 or 5 pages of the proposal for the EU regulation on market cap crypto assets, so you don't have to. So here's the conclusion. So big shout out to our Reddit users over here. Reddit guys, we all really appreciate you. You guys are awesome. Seriously. Scrolling down here, we're just going to go through a couple points here. So we're going to cover the most important points that I think are important. And then, of course, you guys can skim and read, and then I'll link this in the chat so you guys can kind of have your own dig around as well. So crypto assets that are unique and not fungible with other crypto assets, no regulations. So NFTs, including digital art, collectibles, are not bound to the rules described in regulation, even when these assets are traded in marketplace and that they have high speculative value. Also, going to go down to C, crypto assets offered for free, no regulations. Crypto assets, when received, it does not give money, fees, or personal data or commission to the offenders or the issuers. In return for those crypto assets are not bound to the regulatory description and the regulation. This may be good for Moons. There is no active exchange of personal data of returns of Moons for even when Reddit collects personal data from all users. And also, last one, wanted to cover the stablecoins. So e-money, stablecoins, very strict regulations. Electronic money token or e-money means that any type of crypto asset that portrays and maintains a stable value by referring to the value of an official currency of the country. These tokens will be strictly regulated. Only recognized credit institutions and electric money institutions are allowed to issue e-money stablecoins. So this is actually exactly what we were kind of discussing a couple weeks back. So we were wondering, at least with the Tethers and the USDCs and all these guys, and we had already seen, USDC had that integration with Visa, and now this is kind of coming full circle now, if you kind of remember, and you've kind of been here for a while. So all the little things over the weeks of not being clear, the fear, our guys not understanding, people around, everyone going in this crazy run, we're now starting to see what the unfolding is going to be now. So that's exactly why I brought up this long Reddit article, because it really covers exactly what we've talked about in the past couple weeks and couple months if you've been here a while. So those were a couple important points. You see, not everything is going to be, doom and gloom. I feel like the media kind of just magnifies the doom and gloom for, every which way reason. It's just so much easier to pull numbers when you have a terrible headline with, things crashing in the market. It's just much easier that way. But, let's keep these in mind, and let's move accordingly as we remember this. These guys understand this. These guys may be old, but they understand, first off, the money aspect. Second off, they're starting to, I guess, somewhat understand the technology as a whole. Our fight is not finished, but this is some good things to see, at least in some certain sectors. So I'm very, very happy to see this right now. Very. Let's actually hop over to Twitter real quick. We're going to go over to Jane Machu Wong. So this is actually a very interesting story. So she actually was able to get into Twitter's backend and implement her wallet address. So we have a Bitcoin, Ethereum addresses, and Venmo. This is all verified and real. This is a real possibility that Jack Dorsey has been talking about. She just was able to make it possible earlier. Of course, this is not rolled out to everybody at all. She just has technical skills that are above the average person, and she's able to do these things on her own time. So far for tapping the Ethereum address option in the tip jar, she only copies the address. I too hope there's some sort of in-app tipping flow in the future. So this is obviously some really great things to see. And I don't know if you guys heard yesterday, Jack Dorsey did step down as CEO from Twitter. So that's going to be a very interesting ride to see how things kind of, continue to move with Twitter. I think they already got their new CEO. He's having his first day today. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this app kind of, forms in the way it does, moving forward. But I don't think this is going to throw us off pace for, what we're going to be achieving here. So as well. I also want to kind of throw this chart on here, something kind of important to think about. The cost of college versus earnings. I thought this was pretty nuts, pretty crazy. So public universities, private universities, minimum wage and starting salaries. So ridiculous. I don't need to say much more on this at all. So it's true, some of us are college grads, new college grads, young adults, 24, 23, 22, maybe some of you guys are upper 20s, maybe 30s. This is a very real thing, and this is just something that, I always just try to say, try to put yourself in the best position possible. I'm always a big advocate of doing what you love. Absolutely. That is the key to fulfilling and happiness and feeling fulfilled with your job. But it's also important to do things that pay the bills as well. So learning lucrative skills and having those skills as a main hustle, and then feeding your side hustle with that main hustle income, and then eventually moving over to your side hustle full time. Due to your lucrative skills that you've put in 2, 3, 4 a year, whatever it may be. Just being able to have those multiple rotation asset skills to be able to present to the table, and then you can go off and do your all your side jobs that you enjoy more than your main, just so it can keep you afloat. If that made sense, I hope it did. But this is just ridiculous. We don't need to go too much into that, guys. That just sucks. But title of the live stream: Hoarding Cash. Bitcoin delivered 99.996 deflation this year. Absolutely, it did. So Bloomberg's actually, let's go over the last decade. The headline consumer price index has roughly risen over 28%, and demonetizing the gauge in Bitcoin shows deflation over 99.996. In other words, what cost as one Bitcoin 10 years ago would cost 0.004 satoshis, or smaller than a unit of cryptocurrency that now trades around $65,000. So overall, we can't deny this is one of the best performing assets in the entire world, if not the history of the world. It's just something that it's math. It is hard encoded math, and as we keep moving forward, we will see things continue to thrive. I'm very firm in that as well. So other than that, guys, let me check my time. We're only at 10 minutes today, so we didn't have anything too long. I kind of did speed through those. I not really speed, but you guys know how fast I talk. You guys know how it is. But overall, kind of just a wrap up summary, guys. I mean, let's see even here. We do have some time. Let's go into the market cycle, or let's see crypto prices. Let's see. So let's see security prices. So we're sitting at $57,000 Bitcoin, almost $5,000 Ethereum, Binance Coin, Solana, XRP, another good one, Polkadot, of course. So, I mean, where I feel currently in the market cycle, I'd love to see where we are. I think this is beautiful. Here, let's even go into TradingView just to take a quick look. You guys know I like to go into the charts and just look on a deeper scale. One of my favorite things to do. Not a trader at all. I just really do like candlesticks, and I just like being able to know how to plan my strategies at a reasonable time. So let's take a look. Let's go to Coinbase, take a look here. So let's see. So we know that we bottomed out around July. We hit a low of like $29,000, and from there we've been in an uptrend. We've seen this uptrend line that has held us up and up. We pivoted at $40,000. As you see here, bounced off that line very swift. But the funny thing is, what was $40,000 once for us? $40,000 was once a level of support and resistance. So we're seeing now, but now we're testing that as resistance. We're testing that as support now. But at one point, this was resistance. So you can see here, you can see here. Here, let me zoom in a little bit. You can also see back here. And this was not when we blew past that, but of course you see why we fell through it so easily, because we didn't have time to build up any support. But now we're making that $40,000 pivot, and we bounce off that fairly well. We're also seeing again now, what are we seeing at the top? We are seeing our orange line, which is a little bit, let me branch this out for you guys so you guys can see a little bit better. This is our branch between 58.3 and about 57.3. So we're seeing those lines as well. What lines were those in the past? Those were also resistance lines in the past as well. So now we have pivoted the 40K range as official support from what I believe, and looks like now we are also moving over into making the possible gap between 51 to 57 a support range as well. So ultimately, how I feel, I'm feeling great. It's kind of been the market likes to do this. It really likes to shake out people who don't have the patience and the long-term vision for what is to come, because we know that Bitcoin can do whatever it wants whenever it wants, but it really catches everybody off guard in times of anytime or every time someone we all think that it's boring or it's not something that's worth paying attention to. It does something incredible, and then next thing you know, you have news headlines and everyone running straight over here. So you guys know I'm a bit advocator on dollar cost averaging. That's always been my best thing. $100 a week, $10 a week, $5 a day, $1 a week, whatever you can do. is absolutely whatever you can do at the same time at the same investment rate is always just going to be the best overall the best overall strategy for, I believe, most people. And I've been DCAing dollar cost averaging for years now, and it's been truly awesome. But let's hop over to the E-chart as well. Let's take a look at that and see what we have from there. Same thing. I mean, Ethereum looks better than Bitcoin by far. It technically looks better. Performance wise, it's been better. You will be seeing larger returns on Ethereum this market cycle than Bitcoin, and that is just, of course, the fact of market cap and liquidity, and the fact that it takes less money to move Ethereum than it does Bitcoin, and of course the kind of the age gap, I guess, in that way. So same thing with Ethereum. We're seeing an upward symmetrical triangle. So the top bar triangle is looking at about $5,000, almost $6,000. So I mean, that's a very real target that we could be seeing relatively soon. From our chart here. So we pivoted to the same thing. You guys remember back in July we pivoted at $1,700, and we have even been here. Let's see if we can even get the let's see if this would match up. So let's do this line as well. So for these, the upward trends, you literally just take the bottom of your range from where you bottomed out, and then you put that up against the upward trend that you maybe are identifying, and you have that touch the bottom of your wicks, and that can implement that upward trend. But the minute we do break below the upward trend, we are no longer in that, and we're going to need to reevaluate our structure. But as of right now, absolutely beautiful. We're seeing we dropped out of our range just for a second, just to, of course, go retest our $4,000 mark, and it's our $4,000 at $3,800 mark. But let's also remember what were these previous levels for us? These were previous levels of resistance. 3,800 was big for us for a while. Over here, this was another one. 3,500 to 600 was also a very large one as well. We tried multiple times. You can see we tried. We broke again. We broke up again here. Failed to hold that again. Even here on our run up, I guess the $3,000 range was, I guess, more appropriate. But you can kind of see now as we're breaking this down, the important levels as to what it takes to hold these price action levels. So if you're bouncing on a trampoline, over and over and over again, and it's been in the sun, it's sun baked, you're going to rip through it. Of course, same thing if you're punching drywall. You punch drywall enough, you're going to break through drywall, and the same terminology applies to these as well. So the patience game is ultimately with you, and I just always like to get in here because it's so much easier to feel comfortable and be able to plan your strategies knowing this type of stuff and knowing the levels and knowing what's possible. So that's always just what I like to do, and I know you guys appreciate it. So alrighty guys, that's all I have for today. I wanted to keep it pretty short today. I didn't want to go in too crazy. Kind of wanted to give an update about where I am and what's going on. I'm going to be trying to go back on schedule here, but truthfully this next end of the year, Q4 is going to be pretty bad, so we're going to reevaluate for next year. I may have to cut it back to one live stream a week, just for the time being until 2022. I'd love to do two, but I just think it's draining me too much, especially with everything else I've got going on. But I'll continue the readings, continue all the newsletters and all the posts, and I know you guys appreciate that because you guys are different times of the day for your schedules. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye bye.